up tonight, political signs are popping up everywhere ahead of the election. Why one sign is gaining a lot of attention. And the Battle of I-75 is a yearly tradition between the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University. Why this year will look different and why many BGSU marching band members are upset. And cell service is non-existent in some area buildings. How first responders are working to solve the issue in order to save lives. Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Maritet. Thanks for joining us tonight. Here's a look at your top stories here in a minute. But first, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers. Hey, Chris.
Kaylee, we're going to be talking some frosty cold weather across much of the area as we drop back into the low to mid 30s into Wednesday morning. Well, look at this, some brighter skies and beautiful weather into Wednesday afternoon. Still going to have a chill to it. 54 degrees for Thursday. More frost in the morning, dry and mild into the afternoon. 62 degrees by the afternoon and into Friday. Looking forward to round out the work week as we charge well into the middle of October. More sunshine on Friday, 68 degrees. We have some outstanding October weather that is going to be ahead. But what's going to take focus is the potential of our first frost. And it's looking very likely the next several nights going to be down around the freezing mark. In fact, freeze warnings in effect for many of our areas. We didn't really see highs budge on Tuesday, much beyond the lower 50s. It was we continue to turn cooler after dark with clear skies. A few isolated light rain showers may drift over Erie and Huron County. Those are two areas that are not in the freeze warning due to the fact that you're going to see more extensive cloud cover drifting off of Lake Erie. Now, where we stay clear tonight, that's where it's going to get cooler across northwest Ohio and southern Michigan. Radar and satellite picture, it's been busier. East of Toledo, look at the connection from Lake Huron down across Lake Erie. Those are lake effect rain showers. And coming off of Lake Michigan over toward Chicago, Gary, Indiana, and South Bend, they have rain showers as well. For the most part, those will avoid our area, but look at how cool it's going to get. Our hour-by-hour forecast, this is the feels like it's going to take our temperatures tomorrow morning. Take a deep breath. Close to 30 degrees is what it's going to feel like. Could even have that wind chill factor, so to speak, at the upper 20s. So jackets, coats, sweaters, even the hats and the gloves may not be out of the question early on your Wednesday morning. Into Wednesday afternoon, this is the feels like low to mid 50s. We will have some brighter skies and sunshine that will return Wednesday afternoon. Now, as far as rainfall, most of this is going to stay east of us. Those lake effect rain showers from Lake Huron across Lake Erie over toward Cleveland, and then lake effect rain showers and more cloud cover off of Lake Michigan. We're going to be sandwiched right in between this, and look at this. That's our area of some clear skies tonight and into Wednesday, which will give us a cold, frosty start to the morning, but also a dry afternoon ahead. So what to be expecting for your day on Wednesday? We start out in the 30s, highs into the afternoon, climb into the low and mid 50s. And I'm already going to get you ready for Big Board Friday, our Friday night football games, lower 60s on Friday night, 7 p.m. Near 68 p.m., dipping back into the 50s. All things considered, this is the second half of October. That's going to be some pretty outstanding weather. 71 on Saturday. Here's your weekend plans. I'll give you the alert right now. Must-do outdoor plans this weekend. 75 on Sunday, warmer conditions, and that warming trend going to continue through the end of the work week into the weekend. 68 on Friday, 71 on Saturday, mid-70s on Sunday. That will extend into next week. Mid-70s is quite a bit above average as we go through the middle of October, and at this point, little to no rain in sight over the next 10 days. Kaylee, we'll send it back into you for a look at the headlines across the area.
All right, thanks, Chris. An 18-year-old from Rossford is behind bars and facing several charges tonight. According to Rossford police, just before noon, police were notified about a teen pointing a gun at another person on Walnut Street near Dixie Highway. The Rossford Junior-Senior High School was placed into lockdown due to its close proximity. Several officers saw someone run into a home on Beach Street near Walnut Street. The home was searched and a loaded gun and handgun were found inside, which police say did not belong to the owners. 18-year-old Ezekiel James was arrested and charged. Police also arrested and charged a 16-year-old. Well, we don't have to tell you, political signs are everywhere right now, but there's one in Grand Rapids that's raising some eyebrows with not only neighbors, but also the Wood County Sheriff's Office. This Harris Walls sign is flipped upside down with multiple swastikas on it, but the sign was graffitied by the homeowner. According to Wood County Sheriff Mark Vasilishin, he says there's nothing to be done. He says the symbol inspires images of hate, but this man is practicing his freedom of speech. and he's committing no crimes by keeping it in his yard. But that doesn't mean that neighbors feel comfortable living near it.
In order to have ethnic intimidation, there has to be one of four other elements, which is aggravated menacing, or menacing, or criminal mischief, or telecommunications harassment. It's on his property. Freedom of speech.
I can't even stand looking at it. Who would even go that far as to do something like that? It's an election. The better person wins. You don't have to put that stuff in your yard.
WTOL 11 knocked on the homeowner's door, but no one answered. Well, there are many buildings in Toledo where you walk in and get no service on your phone, and that also impacts emergency services. The Safer Buildings Coalition spoke to industry members and first responders to discuss this issue and how to work around it. Elevators in school buildings are wireless dead zones because of the materials in which the buildings are made. The goal is to work with radio frequency theories and applications to improve connections for those who call 911.
And how to change behavior, how to change thought processes, how to help elected officials understand why this is important for their first responder community and the constituents they serve. And what are the codes and standards that drive these so that you understand the technology and the solutions that are available.
The Safer Buildings Coalition is a nonprofit effort all throughout the country with a goal to eliminate wireless dead zones. The Battle of I-75 is a rivalry game between BGSU and UT going back decades, but this year's halftime show will only feature the Rocket Marching Band, and this announcement has stirred up a lot of talk on social media. Let's take a look.
No matter the sport or the level, people love a good rivalry.
The two of us razz each other like all week, like, oh my God, like, oh, you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose.
Lizzie Beamer, a BGSU marching band Falcon alumni, says she and her partner, a UT alumni, take the rivalry of the two schools seriously.
You place like little bets, like, well, you know what, if BG wins, you have to do the dishes all week, or, you know, you have to do my laundry, or this and that, and just a little playful competition.
Beamer says seeing the email BGSU President Rodney Rogers sent last night telling the marching band they will no longer be playing in the halftime show was infuriating.
Not really a competition if both people aren't participating. And not that the bands are competing, but it feels unfair and unjust to have one band there supporting their people.
Just 11 days before the game, Rogers says this came as a surprise. However, in a statement from UT, it says, quote, "The response we received from both BGSU's president and athletic director was one of disappointment but understanding of our time limitations. This decision was clearly communicated and not a surprise," end quote. Alex Shear, a UT alumni who has band experience but not in the Rocket Marching Band, says UT's response was disconcerting.
I feel like Toledo could have maybe handled this a little bit better, knowing what the tradition was. And maybe that's just the direction we're going with college sports, is traditions are disappearing slowly but surely.
Beamer says for her, it's a long-standing tradition she wants to stay.
No matter who's playing where, having your own band there to support your own football team is such an important part of the experience. I don't think it really matters whose home turf it's on.
That was WTOL's Megan Hartnett reporting. BGSU will still have a band there for support, but there will be no halftime performance. It's unclear when BGSU was informed of this decision from UT. Data from the Ohio for Responsible Gambling shows more and more people are gambling across the state. To help combat gambling addictions, the Ohio Gambling Telehealth Network launched free virtual counseling and services to all Ohioans. Organizations like the Zeph Center say the goal isn't to stop or to be anti-gambling, but to meet people where they're at.
Going to gamble for any other reason other than entertainment, or you're using money that you really shouldn't be using, then those are very significant signs that things are shifting to become more problematic for you.
If you or someone you know has a problem with gambling, you can dial the number on our website right now at WTOL.com. A Mami man was arrested and charged with bribery. He's accused of trying to bribe the city administrator for a job. According to a spokesperson from the city of Mami, on October 11th, city administrator Patrick Birch received a text message from Danny Cobb. According to screen grabs of those texts sent to us by a spokesperson, Cobb said he could silence opposition to Birch, but only if he was given a job, paying him $80,000 a year along with a signing bonus and dental coverage. Birch informed the Mami law director, who then alerted police. Cobb was arrested yesterday and is due in court Thursday. Well, the city of Mami has filed an appeal against a Lucas County ruling that would keep a controversial housing ordinance on the November ballot. WTOL 11 previously reported the ordinance would require the upgrading of non-owner occupied properties to new standards. The Lucas County Board of Elections decided in April the ordinance would appear on the ballot. The city of Mami later sued to get the ordinance removed from the ballot, but a Lucas County Common Pleas court judge ruled against the city on October 8th, essentially allowing the measure to stay on the ballot. However, the city then filed an appeal days later in the Ohio 6th District Court of Appeals. According to the appeal, the city claims the proponents of the ballot measure did not properly file the ordinance before circulating a petition. WTOL 11 has reached out to the city of Mami for comment, but have not heard back yet. In August, Vice President Kamala Harris announced a plan to provide first-time homebuyers $25,000 to help with their down payment if she's elected president. Our National Verify team looks into claims about who would be eligible for the program.
During an August campaign event in North Carolina, Vice President Kamala Harris promised first-time homebuyers with help on their down payment if she becomes president.
My administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home.
Multiple posts online claim people won't qualify for the $25,000 assistance if they have a parent or sibling who owns a home. One post suggests the plan is tailored to help people who are here illegally.
Wonder who's going to qualify for those funds. Maybe the people that have been crossing our border illegally.
Verify viewer Kathy reached out to ask us about the proposed plan. So let's verify. Are you ineligible for Kamala Harris's $25,000 first-time homebuyer plan if any of your relatives own a home? These are our sources. We read Harris's plan. It does not exclude first-time homebuyers whose family members own a home. Any lawful citizen buying their first home who has a social security number and has paid their rent on time for 2 years would be eligible for up to $25,000 in assistance. But it would offer more generous assistance for first-generation homebuyers. The false claim spreading online stems from a different plan announced by President Joe Biden in March to provide 400,000 first-generation homebuyers with $25,000 for down payment assistance. Under that plan, first-generation homebuyers were defined as people whose parents did not own a home. Other first-time homebuyers could get a $10,000 tax credit. Harris's new plan gets rid of the tax credit and expands eligibility for up to $25,000 in down payment assistance to all first-time homebuyers, whether first-gen or not. So we can verify, no, you are not ineligible for Kamala Harris's $25,000 first-time homebuyer plan if any of your relatives own a home. With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
Sad news for Detroit Lions fans. Aiden Hutchinson is likely done playing this year after the leg injury during the game this weekend. Lions coach Dan Campbell says surgery to repair his fractured tibia and fibula went great, but he needs 4 to 6 months to recover. Hutchinson was carted off the field Sunday in the third quarter and had surgery in Dallas. He's set to return to Detroit this week. As our WTOL 11 weather team has been reminding us, a freeze warning is in effect for tonight, but experts say there's no need to suddenly worry about your outdoor plants. Removing leaves from lawns and watering plants should be nothing out of the ordinary. Fall plants like mums should be just fine tonight.
There's not a lot of new growth that pushed out that a freeze would harm.